Fusion World community, welcome back to another video with Kyle Chris, and today we're going to be doing an overview of the new red Daima leader, Goku Mini, or Goku Daima, whatever he's going to be called. This deck seems to be very well placed in what we're going to have for the Nationals format. The leader looks very well, looks very, very good. And there's a lot of interesting tech pieces you can use with this deck. We're going to go over some of those in the video today, as always. And make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy the content. And we'll be continuing to post content going up to Nationals for you guys. We got about, about 3 full weeks. About 3 weeks till that. So the leader here, the Daima leader, this is able to shrink and increase the size of a battle card, which is very good. So this essentially has like a mini Beerus and a mini starter coup effect built into the card, which is just instantly makes it better than I think starter coup. I mean, I know starter coup can defend stuff, but like this is a I mean, it's a 10k swing. So I mean, like it's a 10k swing either way you think about it, because you're minusing something by 5, increasing something by 5, right? So it's almost like Beerus. This leader is very, very good. Now the archetype cards are kind of so-so depending on how you look at them. So we have one drop Goku, just cantripping, that's normal. We have a Chi-Chi, which I actually find this card to be very good. It's a 10k 2-drop body card, on play draw card, which is very good. There's not a lot of 2-drops that just hard draw, and also has a second effect. So like being a blocker is actually really good. A lot of people aren't playing hit in their archetypes. And this card can survive being hit by Zamasu, since it's a 2 cost. There's obviously like 1-drop bodies that can reduce this card by 5, but not a lot of people are playing that stuff. You're playing against like a red deck. Like traditionally, like right now they're playing, like they're slamming Khalifa turn 2. Or they're going to play Fua, which is kind of a waste. So like there's not a lot of cards that people are going to play, at least right now that I can think of, that are going to kill this card instantly. But being a 2-drop blocker that just draws you a card is actually really solid, and it's a 10k. Again, just a very good stat line. We have the Android 17 and the Android 18 and the Krillin. So they kind of work, I won't say in tandem, but they're a little bit. So the Android 18, you add a life and then you reduce a card by 5k, and then Krillin, if he's attacking, if you have a battle card that's 25k power currently, he will become a 25k for the battle. I actually don't think either one of these cards are very, very good, but they do come in the archetype in the starter deck, so those are options for you. We have the 17 in the Piccolo here. I do think 17 is a decent card. Piccolo, it's okay. So 17 is it's a 25k during your turn that also takes a life, so you actually can use it to be aggressive. And if you've already awoken, this now is a 30k technically, because you can use your leader effect. This is also a Universe 7 card, of course, which actually will work really well in the other Universe 7 decks, so all the other decks except for Jiren. And then Piccolo, when attacking, you discard a card, and then if your leader is woken, you can KO a 25k power body or less. Sorry, 20k body. This is good. Not amazing. It's almost like a weaker version of Topo, right? It's for 1 less energy. It's 5k less power, and it KOs 5k less, right? And then doesn't have the effect of drawing too. So if you're gonna play like this like discard card, you would rather just play Topo. This card's kind of mediocre. We have a 4-drop 30k crit Gohan, which ironically is actually kind of, I think this is kind of playable in some decks. But just fitting a 4-drop in there that you're just gonna play for a crit is kind of meh. But I do think it's a playable card. I mean, crit's a very, very, very strong keyword skill in this game. Then we have the 2 extra cards. We have Power Pole and Flying Nimbus. Both are actually kind of just not good. Flying Nimbus, you choose one of your cards and give it 10k, and then if your leader is the Son Goku leader, you draw 1, so it works in 3 of the, or 4, 1, 2, 5 of the leaders that we have for red. But it's just an activate main, just draws you a card. It's okay. You probably have better options, honestly, to play. And then activate battle. Your cards that are in battle get 15k for the turn. Then choose a 20 of your opponent's battle card, and it gets minus 10k. This is pretty good, but it's only used on offense. I would rather use Kamehameha than this, just because Kamehameha can also be used defensively. This is only a on your turn effect. So again, not great. It promotes kind of a very tunnel vision strategy, which is just I'm going to swing with big stuff, and then I don't have defense, right? And there's people who play that way. I don't think it's very optimal. Definitely want to have some things you can use on offense and defense. That's what makes, you know, really good decks really good. I.e. blue using Gallic Gun, right? There's a reason why people don't use black Kamehameha. It's not that good of a card, and Gallic Gun can be used on offensive defense. Then we have the boss monster for the archetype, which is it's another 35k double striker Goku. This one KOs a 20k body or less. I still think the starter deck one, the previous starter deck one from Starter Deck is actually better, because it's it minuses something by 25, so it's always going to be effective, even if the card is like if the card's a 30k, right? This card does nothing to it, but if you use the other guy, you can reduce that guy to a 10k and then reduce him to a 5k with your leader, right? So like there's some things you can do with it. We are now going to go over the deck profile that I made. No testing, obviously. None of this product's out really, but just kind of going over just like knowledge of what I think would be good. Got a pretty good base of what you guys can use if you guys are going to take this deck to Nats. All right, so we have the Daima list here. This is a 52 card list here. We're going to start with the 1-drops, which we have the 1-drop Goku, or sorry, I said Goku, it's Goten. That's the same character, right? We have this 1-drop Shin from the, this is actually from the new set, the Shin Daima. It's a 1-drop, 5k combo, or 5k power, 10k combo power. When you place this card in the drop area, you reduce one of your opponent's cards by 10k. So it's almost like a better version of like the Whis 1-drop, which is kind of cool. I think it's useful to play. Being a 10k combo is good, but then also just being able to reduce something by 10k for 1 energy is, there's not many cards in the game that have that sort of power for reduction for 1 energy. I don't think there's actually another card in the game that's like this. So we have 3 Margarita, of course. Being able to boost our leader by 10k or boost a card by 10k or itself is incredibly strong. We have 4 of the Chi-Chi. I do think this is something you should test if you're playing this deck. Chi-Chi is really good. There's very few situations where Chi-Chi is actually going to get destroyed. Like some of the red matchups, of course, like with Whis. But not every deck is playing those Whis cards. But at the end of the day, this is still drawing you a card. Of course, we're playing the Khalifa because this is like your best turn, like your best 2-drop battle card that you can use for damage. Taking Alive being a crit, you know, kind of exhausting some of your opponent's resources. This is a very good card. We have 2 of the small board wipe Gohan. Reducing things by 10k is really strong, and then the just kind of fits like most of your cards are going to be 20k, and you can turn them into 25k, which is just really good value. We have 3 of this Vegeta Daima. This also comes from the set. Actually, this is a promo card, I'm sorry. So I don't know if this card's going to be available, but if it is, I would definitely put this card in the deck. So if your leader has DAN's card name, so this is the only leader that it works for, choose a 20 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15k. That's really strong on play. And then with your leader, that's 20, right? So you can kill a 20k card. This is really strong. Again, just being an on-play effect is just really good. I definitely think people have to pick up this card. I actually don't know how you get this card. I don't know exactly. It's a promo, so I don't know if this is going to be available at the event or how this is actually going to work. But if this card's available, you play it. 2 of the TOP Vegeta just for bigger boss monsters that we need in the deck. 4 Gohans. This is kind of like normal stuff you play in red decks. We have 3 of the draw Goku. So if you have a battle card 30k power or more in play, you draw one. So you can use your leader to bump this guy to 30 and then swing at them as a 30k. So then he's just gonna draw you a card, which is really good. So I play that guy. We have 3 of the Shin. This is another card. This is actually the SR, which I don't know if I actually went over. But apparently I didn't go over this card. So this is a 4-drop 25k 10k body. Shin Mini. When your battle card with 25k power or more attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 5k. So why this is good is, for one, it's a 10k. Two, this is a card that will consistently minus something. So this is not there's no like once per turn effects in this game currently. I'm sorry, there is. Lying myself. But this card does not have the once per turn effect. So if this card, if this Goku, if Gohan, if any of your 20ks that you boost to 25k swing, this card's going to reduce another card by 5k. So between this and this, you can reduce the card by 10k just off of this attack. But then not to mention if you have any other cards that you have on board already, that's also reducing a card by 5k. So this is reducing by 5k, this is going to reduce by 5k. If you swing at this, reduce by 5k, right? Like, you can just consistently do all this stuff, and that's really good value. The card will stick on board. It's a 25k, which is a pretty good stat line. You don't have to swing at this card like early, right? You can just kind of hold it on board and then just use it to kind of like minus your opponent's board. So it's kind of a weird control card. But again, it's another 10k, and red actually lacks a lot of good 10ks, so I try to fill up with some like especially like some bigger boss monsters too. Not bigger boss monsters, but just bigger cards you can use. One of Kefla, 3 Rumshi for 30k bodies. We have 3 of the starter Goku, of course. Again, I think the reduction by 20 is much more important than the KOing 20. 1 Zeno. This can always be bumped up, but this reduces the entire board by 25k. And then in itself is a 25k, so it reduces everything else but this card. This is probably good if you just need to kind of board wipe a little bit. Your opponent has a bunch of battle cards on board. You don't have anything. You can just play this, kind of reset the board a little bit. And again, you can run more of these if you want. If you want to split the Rumshi and the Zeno, you can as well. Or take out a Shin and add another Zeno. Rumshi and Zeno are going to be a lot of your late game cards, other than the 5-drop. And of course, this the new secret rare, which is probably going to be in every single red deck, and this is probably going to be the reason why red's going to win nationals. 40k 6-drop on play until the end of your opponent's next turn. You negate the next damage you take, so any damage that you would take next turn, it's negated. Then choose on attack. You choose all your opponent's battle cards and minus them by 20. So that's really strong. So you can kind of remove an entire board without having to do anything, like without having to like swing into them, which is super solid. And also like the negation effect, of course, like that's just crazy, right? Just being able to just like negate an entire board of effects is whew. And then also not being able to take double strike, like the first attack your opponent does on you, like you can kind of combo out of some stuff, and then this will also act just as a negate, basically. We have 4 Shin, and then our extra cards, we have 1 Sphere and 1 God Kamehameha. It's preference. I don't think you need a lot of the extra cards in red. I think the decks sort of function without it. The only one you can probably run is like Glimpse, but that's if you wanted to cut something else to put Glimpse in. But that is the deck. It's a very short video. I actually kind of have a really bad headache. I'm getting sick, so I'm trying to keep the videos kind of short and sweet here. So but this is the list. I will leave a link for it down below so you guys can check it out. Let me know what you guys think of the list, and if you guys are going to be playing Daima for nationals, I definitely think it's a good idea too, especially since everything's going to be legal. So this is definitely one of the better red decks to play. So thank you guys for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.